I hope that comes in the background.
Hold on. I think we're live. I always, want to make sure. Okay, we're good. All right, don't worry, Daniel. We're here. Jeez, Daniel J. Edwards, man. Hello, everyone. It's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome to another episode of Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Into the VRAINS podcast. This will be episode 7, which is an Unbroken promise. I actually or the Unbroken. I can't get it right, dude. This one's not even hard.
Nope,
anyway, besides me messing up the title as normal, I want to thank you guys all for stopping by. Last Saturday, we were not live. On Saturday, we were live Wednesday night instead. So if you missed that podcast, I apologize, but it is out on my channel. If you do want to check it out, which we gave our thoughts on 93, we're going to go in depth on, or our thoughts on 92. Right? It was last week's episode 93? This week's episode was 93.
This week's episode was 93.
93, yeah. So we'll be giving our thoughts on 93. Good start. Yeah, good start to the podcast. We'll be giving our thoughts on 93. I am joined, as always, by my friends Cal and Jordan, if you guys want to quickly introduce yourselves.
Oh, so let's reintroduce ourselves. Yeah, I'm Cal.
I'm Jordan.
Yeah, so no Nick T. Nick T is always here, but he is actually in London right now.
Yeah.
He is in the United Kingdom. Are you missing him?
Well, he left me, so.
No, he is probably... Actually, I'm not going to say it. He has a girlfriend. But anyway, I'm really excited to discuss episode 93. I want to go over some super chatters from the last podcast and some new patrons of mine. Just want to thank you guys again. Jarek Brual, Dragon Fist 900, Randy May Crazy, Chris Swan, MKJ, The Fireball, Nicholas Horton, Hocus Pocus, Synchro Above All, Goosey Q, Photon 5, Aliz 04, Elizabeth W, Rex Kentrix, Joseph Tabisco, Kevin Robinson, or Joseph Tudisco, I apologize, my handwriting is horrible, Thrifty B. So thank you guys all for donating through Super Chat on the last stream, and a huge thank you to Vincent Vanderveen for becoming a new patron of mine, a platinum tier. So thank you so much, Vincent, and thank you guys for that support. Again, got back from Florida, got back from Disney, which was a blast. I'm going to talk about that real quick before we go into the episode. And of course, I'm not reading the comments right now, but hopefully you guys are leaving your thoughts. And I love Florida.
Yeah.
I texted both of you guys and a few other friends, and I was like, let's just move down here, man, honestly. Like, it's so cheap, and it's never cold. And we're in New Jersey, if you guys don't know, so it's always like, well, it's not always.
But it's expensive and it's cold.
It's expensive and it's cold, yeah. It's brutal.
Well, I mean, in case you're wondering about the validity of Dylan's statement, he actually texted me a couple of houses that are available for rent right now.
I did.
I got those as well.
I did. Well, so here's a house. 4-bedroom, 2-bath. So 4 people can live there. The rent is $2,100. The backyard is right on a lake in an enclosed development, and the house has an indoor swimming pool. So 4 people live there. After you pay utilities and electric and heat and all that stuff, it's probably like $600 a month, and you have an indoor swimming pool on a lake 20 minutes north of Walt Disney World in Windermere, Orlando.
I mean, it's worth it.
I mean, how, like, what the hell, man?
So worth it.
In New Jersey, you're paying Hoboken, forget about it.
Yeah.
You're paying maybe $2,000 for a studio apartment.
Yeah, for 2 bedrooms.
I mean, if that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just insane, man. It just sucks because I do like New Jersey, but the housing is
I know.
so
I don't know
insane.
if I could ever move.
I could
like
move tomorrow.
long term.
Long term. Well, that's what I said. I said I wanted to do it for a year.
I could move, right? Like I could move down there for maybe like a year.
Yeah, test it out.
Honestly, I don't think I could be there much longer.
I could move to Texas or Florida tomorrow and never come back to New Jersey.
Really?
100%.
Well, you also have a falling out with your family. No, I'm kidding.
I'm like super close to my family.
No, I'm kidding. But
so
you wouldn't mind leaving your family?
Well, I'd still talk to them. Nowadays, it's so easy to communicate with anyone.
Not only that, but like the way I viewed it is like the money that you save if you lived in Florida compared to New Jersey, you can make trips, you can make flights,
100%.
and you save the money there. Yeah. But you make less money. You make less money as an accountant in Florida compared to here. Easily.
Yeah,
marketing.
But the cost of living adjustment and pay is definitely not.
It's worth it.
It's
it's basically pretty much all relative.
Yeah. No, it is. It is.
It's relative, but it really depends because you can get a job that is, maybe you make like $5,000 less, but you're paying over $1,000 less a month in rent.
Yeah.
So you're at the point of where you're saving a crap ton
and
of money.
utilities. Car is cheaper, electric's cheaper.
And there's no income tax in Florida.
No personal.
Yeah.
Right. Federal still income tax.
But there's no state income tax.
Right. Well, I guess federal income tax is everywhere.
That would be the country.
Oh,
Well,
man.
Daniel J. Edwards.
Oh, Daniel. I got a big duel with Daniel.
He commented a few times. So he said,
All right.
he said, you can retreat to Florida after our duel, right?
Absolutely. Don't worry. Look, Daniel, if we duel, man, which we are going to duel maybe next Saturday or the
He
Saturday
says
after.
it's when.
It's when we duel, it's going to go very similar to when Playmaker dueled Go and Revolver. They're going to lose. You're going to lose, man. I'm the Playmaker in this situation.
Wow, yikes.
So, I mean, I'm ready for it, Daniel, but I mean, that's what's going to happen, bro.
Well, I mean, then he said, Daniel is here watching this man avoid my challenge, talking about moving to Florida. Boo.
Okay, fine. You know what? On that note, let's move to VRAINS. Okay, so the last episode featured Kusanagi and Playmaker dueling. I gave a lot of my thoughts. I did a review with Pete, who was unable to make this podcast, and we actually live reacted to it as well. So usually I start with like an opening monologue. I'm not really going to do that because I don't really have that much more to say outside of what I already said in the reaction and review. So I want to have a genuine conversation with the people in the chat and with you. What were your thoughts on this episode and the duel in general and how everything played out?
All right, so I guess I'll start with the duel as a whole.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of quick, and I definitely in this episode, I feel like it kind of just flipped, like not out of nowhere, but it just kind of flipped and ended. So like he's sitting there and he's about like Playmaker can't even attack him. He's not doing anything. And he's like, oh, you don't remember that promise? And then flashback, you get the promise, and in basically one move, he wins.
You had an issue with that scene? I know
No.
Daniel had a few people did have an issue with that promise scene. They felt like it was just kind of strangely executed.
It wasn't that I had an issue with the scene because they did kind of foreshadow that scene took place when the duel happens, and they're like, I guess this is the time. Remember? So we all were like, oh, I guess they knew that this was going to happen, but you had never seen them have that conversation before.
Right.
And I think that my only issue was just that the first half of the duel is Kusanagi just tormenting Playmaker, basically. He's doing whatever he wants, and then once he says that, Playmaker all of a sudden is like, oh, you know what, you're right, screams as loud as he can, and then wins the duel.
Okay, but with the heavy emotional toll that duel was taking place on him, that the duel was having an effect on him, you don't think it's realistic for him to just have forgotten everything in that instance?
No, I don't think it's unrealistic that he forgot. I think that it's more of I think the perspective I would have liked more is that if he was having an internal battle with himself about I kept this promise with him, but almost as if I was like, but he wasn't there, I guess, for the thing.
Right.
If he was like, you kept this promise, remember what he said to you, and then he's like, yeah, but he's my best friend. Like, if it was that more of an internal conflict, because I mean, it was an internal conflict, but it wasn't
shown.
presented that way. It was presented more as Kusanagi basically telling him, hey, remember what I said to you? I think it would have been more, it would have been better presented, I think. I still liked it, but I think it would have been presented better if it was like almost an internal thing where he like kind of looks up and he goes, you know what, Kusanagi, I'm going to do what you told me to do. And then he kind of looks at him like, what? He's like, I always keep my promises, and then like goes in and does it. Like, I think that would have been a different way to do it.
Right.
I might have preferred that way. But
Okay, that's fair.
I didn't dislike it. I just thought it happened so quick.
I know there were a few people, and I had mentioned Daniel J. Edwards, who I saw on Twitter, that weren't a huge fan of the way that scene was done. I genuinely didn't have an issue with it. In hindsight, though, I understand why people feel the way that you do, where like the scene was just kind of weird. What's up?
I actually want to say Andrew is watching right now.
And he was supposed to come on. I never heard from him. Wait, Andrew, Nick T's brother? Oh,
I assume they're both watching it right now because he just commented.
Oh my God, that's right. So Nick T is visiting his brother Andrew. And I thought it was a different Andrew who was supposed to come on. I'm sorry, Andrew. Nick T is visiting his brother in the United Kingdom. And that's freaking really cool.
Yeah, he said hi.
Andrew, how you doing, man?
What's
how you
up,
doing?
Andrew?
You guys are here in spirit. We appreciate it.
And hey, Nick T, I guess, too.
BRB eating, he says. Sounds about right, actually.
Such an online thing to say. Yeah, so I understand that scene. One thing that I loved about this episode, which I touched on in my review, I loved during the flashback, which, by the way, I thought the flashback scene was great. And I loved that they showed how much pain Shoichi is in because of the whole lost incident. where, and I think it almost fits to Aui's reasoning, where I think it's when Soleburner said, or Revolver said, even the people that weren't directly involved in the Lost incident still are affected by the Lost incident. Like, this thing affected a lot of people. Now, in Shoichi's case, it's a little more closer to home than in Aui's case, obviously, because it's his brother. But Shoichi said, I felt guilt every day of my life because I felt like I could have prevented it if I was closer to Jin or talked to him more. And again, we don't know the specifics on how Jin was taken away and kidnapped and why he was even targeted, if there was a selection there. But that struggle and that internal pain that Shoichi felt, I thought was great for his character.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that it shows, because a lot of times they always say, like, oh, like, the people of the Lost incident, all the stuff they went through, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that also were affected, like, because their loved ones were affected. And I think the only real thing you ever get from Kusanagi is, like, I want to get Jin back, like, by any means necessary. It's kind of his way of doing it. It's like, we need to get Jin, I need to get him back because they took him, whatever. But you don't really see that emotional, like, if I could have done something different, maybe he wouldn't be in this situation. Like, if I had just protected him,
that
like,
self-blame, almost self-hate.
Yeah,
in a way.
it's like he like releases all this guilt that he has on himself, and he's and you kind of see like, wow, this has been eating at him, the entire time. Even as they're going through all this thing, and he's trying his best to get Jin back, but it's still eating at him every day that, he didn't prevent it from happening in the beginning.
Yeah, so I love that for him.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I love that for him. We are going to be making our predictions, by the way, on the Soleburner and Bowman duel coming up. Right now, the stats, again, the loser. Did Pete text you, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, good. So he texted you his
Yes.
picks.
I have it.
Oh, text her right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we text her our picks so that we can't, copy each other's picks. Yes.
Really quickly before you go into that, though, I just
Absolutely.
want to get these 2 donations.
Okay, yeah.
out.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you so
one's
much.
from Daddy.
Thank you.
He says, surprised Kusanagi didn't use a food deck, son.
Thank you, Daddy. Yeah, I'm a little surprised at that as well, but I think if they weren't going to go with a food deck, they picked the best deck for him. A code breaker deck, which literally was built to destroy Decode Talker. And it was a counter playmaker deck with ninjas and... Right, because the decks kind of resembled ninjas a little bit. Did you get that vibe?
Yeah.
And Kusanagi's a hacker, so ninja, hacker, I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand. So I think they picked, if they weren't going to do food, I think they still picked a really good deck for him that fit his character and the whole duel really well.
No hot dog deck.
No hot dog deck. Unfortunately, we all would have loved the hot dog deck. But thank you, Daddy.
And then the other one
kinda like saying
was Jarek. He donated.
Thank you so much, Jared.
And he seems like he's a little upset that the lineup is looking a bit empty today.
No, I'm sorry, Jarek. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah. I had texted Daniel and I said, yeah, come on for the podcast. And he said, nah, I got better things to do, dude. And here he is in the comment section, right? And so, a little disappointed in him, but no, that's all right. Yeah, it is low. I was going to have my cousin's boyfriend, his name is Andrew, on, but maybe he'll be on next week. He plays the game with his friends, but in master, the very early game, they don't play with anything past Fusion. So I wanted to get his take on it, and he's a huge fan of the original show. So I wanted to get him on, and he does have some Yugioh knowledge. So hopefully we'll get him on soon. But yeah, it is kind of light. So you guys are gonna have to really carry this thing. In the comments right now, did anyone have anything to say about the duel? Was there general positivity, negativity? Just curious. I think most people enjoyed the duel quite a bit.
Well, a lot of people are just talking about Pete entering the chat right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. I mean, that's more.
So far,
important than
I've
the duel.
noticed
What's up,
just
Pete?
mixed comments.
Oh, okay. So positive
far.
and negative.
So I've just mixed in just in terms of what they're
topics.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's usually how the chats work. Our lights are dimming. Are we about to lose power?
That'd be
Is it
awesome.
raining out?
No.
No. it's
If we
not
lose power, okay. If the stream cuts, that was really weird. You guys saw that, right?
Yeah.
The light-
I'm
I don't know if it
kinda
was-
scared now.
Well, it's okay.
It's
There's
the
no.
wasp.
There's no. Yeah, that's
now I'm
weird.
not scared anymore.
There you go.
That's weird. I don't know if the camera picked it up, but the lights all kind of dimmed.
I think it's Bowman entering the.
It's
entering
Bowman.
the
Yeah,
world
Bowman's.
right now.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it
Is
is.
everyone just gonna avoid the fact it could be a ghost? I mean, that's what I'm concerned
Do you
about. It's like
honestly,
a demon.
do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Do you believe in? So you believe in paranormal?
Yeah.
Do you believe in
I've never
Bigfoot?
experienced anything, but I believe people
Bigfoot's
who tell me
he's
that
real.
they've experienced things. I mean, my dad is more kind of there's a scientific explanation for everything,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of you know what? Sometimes I've heard some stories from friends that it could just seem too real.
Yeah, there have been some weird stories. I don't know if I believe in ghosts, but I definitely believe in like spirits.
Isn't that kind of the same thing?
I think they're different. I think spirits is more like when like you can like
weird
sense like.
And I think it's when someone passes on.
Kinda,
weird stuff has happened in this house.
Like a Sixth Sense type thing.
This is the weirdest paranormal story. I know we're kind of all off the rails
Pete agrees
right
it's
now.
the Wasp, by the way.
Thanks, Pete. This is the weirdest story that's ever happened. You walk into my house and you have two rooms. You have the living room and the dining room, and then you go down the hall and you come down into the basement. In the living room, or the dining room to the left, when you walk right in the house, walk right in the house. You have a dyswordia or whatever it's called. There is a tray table with shot glasses, 6 shot glasses, and my dad's dad, my grandfather, had just passed away. This was 2011 because it was my junior year of high school, September of 2011. And we were at our friend Weir's house down the street watching, I'll never forget it, Redskins Texans in overtime. So you guys can actually fact check me because there's probably only been one time where the Redskins and Texans play every 4 years because it's AFC versus NFC.
Yeah.
So this was definitely 2011 or maybe 2010, and it was September or October, but I think it was like the second week of September. Redskins and Texans were in overtime, and my mom calls me and says, your brother is freaking out. He heard a glass shatter in the other room, and he was home alone. And we have a decently sized house. So my mom was like, can you head over there? My brother was, he was 15, he was 16 at the time. It's not like he was, or 15 maybe. It's not like he was young, but it was still free. If I was in the house and I heard a glass shatter and no one else was home, I'd be a little freaked. So I walk in the house and I walk through the door. So I enter where the room is, where the glass shattering room is. So then he walks down and the glass is on its side, completely shattered. And there's no way that it could have been shattered. Like it's a circular glass. We had 6 of them, and my grandfather, my dad's dad, was always known for dropping and breaking wine glasses. So that's probably the weirdest thing.
Because that's honestly one of those things where it's like that's not the air conditioning going on.
No,
that's not like
and we had 6. It was only one that was tilted over.
That's wild.
And the base of it was completely shattered. It's not like it just tilted. Like someone dropped this thing, but no one was in the house. Like it was. That's the weirdest thing that's happened to me.
That's very weird.
That's
I've
the
never
weirdest
even
thing.
experienced anything.
That's the only
like
thing
that
was
like
very,
I've never
very
experienced
strange.
anything, so it's kind of weird that I'm kind of like
But it's interesting.
You've never seen a ghost before?
Yeah, I have.
So we are going to get into. But yeah, leave your ghost stories in the chat.
Well, also somebody, because Cloud Nation 101 says invite your brother on to the podcast one day.
Thank you, Cloud. Thank you for that. No, honestly, I want to invite him on. He's very. I don't know. He's definitely not shy.
He's camera shy.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I'll have him on though. He's a funny guy.
Maybe kind of wean him in a little bit. Like have him do maybe just one of like your
or like trick him and say, hey, can you come down here and not tell him we're live, and then he walks
that's
in.
a good idea.
I don't know if he'll ever trust you ever again.
Well, I don't think he trusts me now, so it's all good. But anyway.
Wait.
Yeah.
Just because I believe that this could be a possibility.
Okay.
Yes.
Jig Red said, I think your brother broke the glass accidentally and created a brilliant cover-up story. Now
that's a great possibility, but I feel like
Dean is very smart.
Yes, but I feel like 8 years later he would have said it because we still talk about it at family gatherings, and not only that,
he's a mastermind.
But he's smart, but not only that, but the glass is inexpensive. It's a $5 glass. It's not worth creating a story like that.
No,
and but no, I'm saying like that could be, and I'm sure there are.
If it was
skeptical.
him and Andrew there, then I would, then I would believe it.
Yeah. There's been some weird things that have happened, but. Anyway, before we get really off the road, before we get to the everything part of this podcast, which we're kind of all over the place.
Maybe let's save this ghost talk for the everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's continue
we do first
this
half
later,
Yu-Gi-Oh, first half everything.
I've seen a couple of comments.
Okay, good. We'll get back to it. We will get back to it. But before we do that, I do want to go over our predictions on Bowman and Soleburner, whether we think Bowman will win, Soleburner will win, no result, or a draw. Now, Pete and Nick T have texted their picks into Jordan. We don't know what they picked. The standings right now, Cal is 2-1. Me, Pete, and Nick T are all 1-2. We all got the pick of Playmaker right, except Pete, who picked Kusanagi. So we are all 1-2 except Cal. The person who comes in last takes the entire crew out to a steak dinner in New York City. They basically lose about $1,000. So this is nerve-wracking. I take my time with these picks. I guess we'll start with who Pete and Nick T picked.
So they both picked Bowman.
Okay. Okay, so Nick T and Pete both pick Bowman.
And as of right now in the chat, that's how everybody's going. Yep.
Are you gonna? I mean, now this guy is a huge Soleburner fan. If he picks against Soleburner, that would be really, really upsetting to me and to the Soleburner fans out there. So go and pick, dude.
Jordan, what did I pick?
I'll actually read your text verbatim.
Okay.
Bowman wins, frowny face.
All right. Well,
I think Bowman's gonna win, but I'm not happy about it.
we all agree. Bowman's gonna win. There's little doubt in my mind. Everyone in the chat is saying Bowman.
Yeah.
Everybody.
There's little.
One person says Soleburner will win.
There was a person who I think it was I think he's commented before, the Heat Leo person. And he DM'd me and he said Soleburner will win. I guarantee it. So, I mean, maybe he's got some insider knowledge on how the show is going to be written.
He's one of his monsters, so.
That's true. Or maybe he's just making a bold prediction, but Bowman has to win. There's no way that. Let's talk about the duel for a little bit.
Okay.
What do you think going into it?
Well, especially from watching the preview, Soleburner's like out of his mind. Like he's completely lost his control, and you can even see like Flame is very nervous about that too. He's like because he's trying to tell him to calm down, and they haven't even started a duel yet.
Right.
So I think that going in, he's just going to be off the rail. Like he's going to be going absolutely insane. Like everything he does, like it's going to be a very loud, very like energetic duel, and I think that Bowman's just going to calmly be on the other side playing chess with him and just slowly manipulating him into doing things so that he can win.
The theme of this season, and really Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, if you get angry and you give into your anger,
you lose.
You lose.
Yeah.
Soleburner is given into it. But even if there's a point in this duel where Soleburner is able to calm down, Bowman is at this point where he has, as they have said, transcended hatred and anger to reach perfection. This is a duel that Bowman is 100%. He needs to win. He needs to win. Now, he's beaten Owie, which was a good win for him. Since he's become perfect, he drew against Playmaker. Remember, those first two Playmaker duels, he wasn't really... the first one, he didn't know what was going on. The second one, he thought he was Yusaku. So weird stuff going on. But once he finally hit that final stage, he's drawn against Yusaku. He drew against Playmaker, which is basically like beating him in this show.
Yep.
And he beat Owie. He beat Blue Maiden and Aqua. He's already taken down a user dueling with an Ignis. Soleburner, of course, I would say is on a different level than Blue Maiden dueling-wise, just maybe slightly. But I think this is finally where Soleburner gets a loss.
Yeah.
And I think it's a much-needed loss. Characters that win a lot, the characters that win every single duel, and characters that lose every single duel, I think lose a little bit of flavor.
Yep.
I think winning and losing is not as important as people think, unless you are winning every single duel or losing every single duel. Soleburner has won every duel he's been in. If you don't want to count the Revolver one, fine. But he's won, or the Blood Shepherd one, but he hasn't lost yet. I think a loss will be very good for his character. And he's had a badass season. He's had a kick-ass season. Yep. His voice actor, you saw in the preview, and probably at the end of the episode, how good his voice actor is.
Yeah, it's awesome.
His voice actor is just going to play these next two episodes out perfectly. And you have the Windy X Factor. Windy can still have some sort of effect in this duel if the curse is real. And if Bowman wins, he will have Aqua. Somehow it seems he has the Earth symbol, which can be explained two different ways, by the way. I've seen a lot of you guys talk about this. Either Spectre is filling in for the Earth Ignis, because that was what the Earth Ignis was based off of. It's what Lightning meant when he said even the weak have their uses. Or the Earth Ignis symbol was because of the Crystal Heart card. And that was the connection that Aqua had to Earth when he absorbed Aqua. That's probably why the Earth symbol is there. Obviously, he didn't duel Go off screen and get the Earth Ignis that way. Could you imagine the disrespect that would be for Go? That would be horrible.
That'd be awful.
So he has those two Ignis. When he beats Soleburner, he'll get Flame, he'll get Windy, and who's left? I is left. Playmaker's unconscious right now. And then Lightning, who seemingly might willingly go into Bowman. The only person left to stop these guys is going to be Revolver.
Yeah.
And that is so freaking cool. I love when the protagonist is not the only person that can defeat the villains. We kind of had that in the Synchro arc when Reiji took down Jean-Michel Raget, so I like that a lot. It doesn't have to be the protagonist beating the bad guy every time. And it seems like maybe Revolver is going to be the hero that we need towards the end of the season. Very excited to see how things are going to play out. And by the way, we are going to get news, if we are going to get news, because the V-Jump leaks have started on the opening changing. if that's going to happen, we could get news literally while we are live right now, or we could get news. I think it was on the 17th of March of last year. Yep. It was March 17th of last year of 2018 when we got Soleburner's character profile, Bowman's character profile, Haru, and that is still when Revolver and Playmaker were dueling at the end of season 1.
Yep.
So we might get some more character designs as well and what season 3 might be about, as well as the opening changing. So we might get a slew of information within the next 24 hours. So definitely stay tuned to my channel for that. I'll be covering it, and just stay tuned to the social medias for that stuff. So yeah, really excited that this seemingly is the end of the season, and it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's coming down to the end, and I like the aspect of now it's going to be Revolver and Playmaker. I think with the two of them left, it's kind of officially is putting everything aside. Like you got to do this together or you're going down, basically. So
yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And if Playmaker's unconscious, I wonder how Bowman's just going to take the Dark Ignis, if he's just going to absorb him, or if he's going to duel maybe if Playmaker can't fight.
Like duel
versus Bowman. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That'd be very interesting.
Any questions from email? Or
well, there have been 2 donations.
Okay, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Nicholas Horton, and he said 50-50 Soleburner versus Bowman duel. So he's, I guess, split in the middle.
Thank you, Nicholas. Now, I'm surprised at that. I'm surprised you're split 50-50, Nick. That being said, Soleburner just has this demeanor about him where he's just not going to lose. And that does worry me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that maybe they're doing that on purpose so that you think Bowman's gonna win, and maybe it'll end up flipping?
Yeah.
Do they
I hope not. Sometimes they do throw us for loops. I mean, I'm 1-2. I've gotten 2 predictions wrong. I thought Windy was going to beat Soleburner.
So did I.
I thought Blue Maiden was going to beat Bowman. That was more of a heart pick than a brain pick.
No chance.
Yeah, no chance. And Spectre Lightning, I would have picked Lightning for that. But it's sometimes it's hard to predict these duels. I think. For me, I'm like 90% confident Bowman's going to win. I never like to say 100% sure, but this is the most confident I've been since probably...
wrongly picking Windy, right?
No,
we were all really confident that Windy was...
I wasn't very confident. No, that was 50-50 since the Spectre Lightning duel. I knew there was no way Lightning was losing. Yeah. So I'm very confident about Bowman. But thank you so much for the donation, Nicholas. I really do appreciate it, man. You're the best.
And then the other one was from Thrifty B.
Thank you, Thrifty.
I feel bad for Soleburner. His idols are all gone.
That's actually very true. Playmaker, unconscious. Go could be dead in the Soul Technologies warehouse for all we know. And Blue Maiden is dead right now. So that's very true. And I know even Cal, his one of his biggest fans, is not picking him. But Thrifty, thank you for the donation in the comment, man. Yeah, very, very interesting stuff.
Well, very quickly, before I go into some email questions.
Sure.
Solid Snack said, anyone want an 8-minute scene of Revolver making waffles?
Sora, that would be a great scene, man. That would be. See, that's why we need a. Maybe you could have like a brunch beach episode where they all make
brunch and beach.
Yeah, so you have
That's
the whole.
Cal's two favorite things.
Honestly, you're not even wrong. Brunch and beach, I'm down.
He's taking many ladies to the brunch and the beach dates. This guy.
Yeah, brunch on the beach. It's a 2 for 1.
Many a women.
Oh Lord.
So anyway. Yes, we need that, Sora. Let's get to some email questions.
Yeah, so let's ask this one from Endorsed Vampire 51.
Thank you,
It's
Endorsed.
a long one, so I'll read the whole thing, and then you can dissect it as you would like.
Okay.
So, how do you feel about a spin-off Yu-Gi-Oh series which is dedicated to telling the lore behind the monsters in the card game with the Spirit Charmers as the protagonists? For example, the Spirit Charmers have many goals, but from the card game, it seems like they have one goal in common, becoming stronger and learn more about their powers. What would make this move more interesting for me is if they made the Spirit Charmers have a perspective on the other pieces of lore, like the Buster Blader of Blader of lore.
Bladder.
It looked...
It's okay. One day.
World Legacy lore. Hell, a filler episode about the story of Sangan?
Sangan. Yeah, Sangan. Yeah, same
and
thing.
how he was wrongfully caught smuggling pot of greed would be interesting. So you take it away with that one.
You want to give your thoughts?
No, go ahead.
Very interesting question endorsed. I am down for a series exploring the lore of the TCG artwork and the OCG artwork and the card artwork. I'm not too familiar with the Spirit Charmer lore, I will be honest, but I know the World Legacy lore is really intriguing. That lore is awesome. I love the Forbidden Maiden lore as well. I'm actually going to be doing a video on that very soon. Big thank you to Kamau Art for commissioning her. So look for that very soon. That'll be my first lore TCG video. So it's kind of funny that you asked that while I'm working on a video like that. And then the Sangan stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool lore. And if they made an anime where the monsters were the front and center of the show, I think that would actually be really, really interesting. I'm not sure how duels would necessarily work, because I guess you'd have the dual monsters dueling, which would be kind of weird, but it's Yu-Gi-Oh, man. The whole show is kind of weird, and you know what? It's card games on anything at this point. So I would be down for that endorsed. That's very interesting. I think a lot of people would be down if the show, if they had an anime just solely focused on the lore of the cards and exploring that kind of world and that side of things. I think it would be really cool.
I agree. I really do.
Okay, very quickly, we have 2 donations.
Okay, thank you guys so much, man. Making my Saturday. I appreciate it.
So we have, I'm going to read this one first since I don't have to write it down.
Okay.
So one's from Jarek.
Thank you, Jarek.
Actually, we have 3. I'm sorry. So
Okay.
Jarek says, Soleburner, in the style of Lil Uzi, be like, all my friends are dead, push me to the edge, because Owie, Go, and Playmaker are all out of commission.
That's good. Yeah, that was your theme back in high school, wasn't it?
Yeah, all my friends are dead, push me to the edge. Yeah, I think we were out of high school when that came out, but yeah, that was my theme song.
Thank you, Jarek, for the donation, man. Thank you so much.
We had a donation from DMOMO.
DMOMO.
What if Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 told new stories about characters from previous shows instead of a new main character that led to finally explaining the timeline?
That is 100% what I would like. If you're gonna give me a regular show that we normally get, my number one want, girl lead. Not gonna happen, but it's my number one want, and it has been for a couple years now. Just from the perspective of changing it up. Mm-hmm. If you were going to give me anything that I want, it is 100% exploring and diving deeper into the characters that we already know and love from these shows. You could spend 10 episodes on Yu-Gi-Oh! GX stuff, what happens to them after school, or after they graduate after school. You could spend 5 episodes on Aki taking down the Arcadia movement. There is so much amazing potential with a show like that. Thank you so much, D. First of all, thank you for the donation and an amazing comment. That is number one want. I actually did a video when we were doing Road to Yu-Gi-Oh! 6. I made 4 videos leading up to the Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS eventual announcement. And one of them was called Yu-Gi-Oh! Generations. And that was exactly what you just described, where you focus on older characters. And you know what? You don't even need to have any episodes or minimal episodes on Yugi, Judai, Yusei, Yuma. The side characters are so fascinating in a lot of these universes, and there's a lot left to be desired. With Yuma and Judai, they're loved, obviously, but we know so much about them. Spend some time on Bastion Misawa. Spend some time on, the Arclight brothers. It would be so cool to see these characters have 4 or 5 episodes spotlight, and then you jump to a different timeline or a different show and then give those characters another 4 to 5 episodes. It would be so cool. So thank you so much for the donation and for the comment. I would love that.
We have another donation from Elizabeth W.
Thank you, Liz. I appreciate it.
Enjoying the stream so far. Thanks for the encouragement for my midterms 2 streams back. I got through them and did great on them.
That's what I like to hear.
Awesome.
Great job, Elizabeth.
Congrats,
thank you so much. And thank you for enjoying the stream. Thank you for the donation and congratulations on the midterm. You're gonna do a lot of good things, Liz. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
So I'll read the other 2 email questions.
Perfect.
So we have a question from Saifi.
Manana.
Okay.
Manana.
DePrado, DePrado. I just gave away my last name.
Cow.
Yeah, Melbourne.
Who do you think is the most over and underrated character in all of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Shows? So we'll just do from VRAINS.
Yeah, most overrated and underrated. I like that a lot, actually. Good question.
You tapped me on the shoulder. You want me to go first, or are you calling me overrated?
No, I wasn't. I want you to go first.
Okay. So coming from VRAINS, I think the most overrated character is probably... Now, by overrated, are we going by like who people like the most? And
It has to be a character
why?
that, it has to be a character people like.
So it's like, why do so many people like this character so much type thing?
Yeah,
Well, right, because that's what would make someone overrated, because everybody loves them and there's no reason to.
Like Dwayne Wade is
basically.
overrated.
Oh, okay, get out. So, I mean, I'm going to say that someone's overrated even though I like them because I feel like they haven't done enough to really be this well-liked even though they are.
Yeah.
And I think that's Akira.
Okay.
And I love Akira. I think he's a great character, but there's really no reason to love him. He hasn't really done anything. Like, I'm just being honest. He hasn't done a lot.
Oh, I disagree with you completely,
See,
man.
I
disagree with you completely.
And the thing is, I like him. He's one of my favorite characters in the entire show.
Yeah.
But I can't give you a reason why other than I think he's cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
look who I wrote as my underrated character.
where did you write it?
Right here on the left side.
Oh, underrated Akira. Yeah, funny.
This is polar disagreement. No, it's good. It's good.
And then I guess if I had to go underrated, someone put Brave Max underrated. I would say that Emma is underrated.
Okay.
Because I
Okay.
feel like in
That's fair.
a way she goes like behind the scenes and does so many things.
Do you think she's do you like her more, or do you think she's better than Aoi? Or could you make that argument?
Could I make that argument?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't think because I think Aoi's more in the forefront. So I think she gets more, more TV time, she's more in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And I think more people enjoy her character because of all the stuff that she goes through and how she overcomes it. But I think Emma, as a supporting character, is very underrated because she doesn't really get credit for anything. She does a lot and like she talks to everyone.
But
But
she loses duels.
yeah, well, yeah, she does. She's an overrated duelist, but as a character, I think she's underrated.
Well, what I always said about Emma is her main motivations in life and in this universe are not achieved through dueling.
Money.
Yeah, she does not want to be the number one, charisma duelist. She does not want to be the duelist that defeats Playmaker. She wants money.
Who, Emma?
Yeah.
Well, Cyber Quasar
Yeah, Cyber Quasar.
said gold digger.
Well, she is. I mean, she 100% is. She's grown as a person, but early on she was
No, I mean,
she was not a nice
yeah,
person.
she wasn't.
That's a nice way to put it.
I'm upset that I made this overrated Akira comment without Nick T being here because I would have loved to see his face when I said that.
Honestly, Akira's one of my favorites, and so underrated, and underrated. I picked Akira to be underrated because I think that he is just an incredible character. For a character that has only dueled once, usually when you only duel that little, you don't have much development, you don't have much importance. Akira Aizen, the struggle that he goes through, I think is one of the most real struggles that anyone in the show goes through. He had a stepsister. First of all, it's not even a blood sister. So you can say from that point of view, as a human being, you're not going to maybe care about her as much as you would a blood sister. Yet he did everything for his sister. He worked in the mafia where they were threatening to cut off his fingers just so that his sister could have food on the table and a roof over her head.
That's good.
Worked his ass off.
Whoa, swear jar.
Still does, by the way. And the fact that he's just great, man. He's just great.
Daniel said that his voice actor is Barrett Letty, so he's overrated.
Oh man, I wish Barrett was on this stream. I'm trying to get Barrett to come here. I think Barrett's afraid of taking the NJ Transit. I think he's afraid of trains.
It's understandable.
Yeah, I can't blame him. But now Akira is just everything he does he's so selfless, and that's what I love about him. And
he hasn't had his coming of age for me yet, though. He's gonna turn into this great character, but he has all the potential.
But he also instead of being a POS and just not doing anything and just being bossed around by his superior, which is Queen, his moral and compass always wins, and it always wins. Well,
I wouldn't say always wins, but you can see that he has moral struggle.
It always wins when things are dire. When Go is about to die, Akira said, that's it. That's my last straw, and he pulled him out. Even though his boss, that can easily fire him and get him probably killed like Kogami got killed, honestly, he still does it because he knows in his heart he can't let go die.
He also watched Earth get dissected on a table.
But you saw his face.
Yeah. He had a moral struggle there, but he still...
What could he have done, though? In that situation, what could he have done?
He could have left Soltech. He could have been like, I'm done with this. I'm not following your plan.
But he knows that the best way to take down Soltech and stop their madness and tyranny is from within.
I mean,
and him and Hayami are going to take down that entire organization.
Hayami's the Knights of Hanoi Spy.
Please let Hayami be the Knight of Hanoi Spy. They're going to take down that entire organization.
I hope Hayami plays a big role in taking Soltech down. That's all I can say.
Me too. Me too, because honestly, that would be one of the most incredible things Yu-Gi-Oh! Has ever done if Hayami has a major role in this. And she's the Knight of Hanoi Spy. So that was underrated. I think Akira's great. I don't think in cases he gets the love and respect that he deserves.
I think everyone loves him. That's more of why I'm saying he's overrated.
See, but from my community from the community standpoint, I don't think that many people love him.
Oh, so I might be wrong. We all love him. So then, should I say overrated is my character Soleburner
from our friend group?
He's too good.
Overrated.
He is overpowered, but
I think you could make the argument overrated Soleburner.
Of course.
I like Soleburner. Overrated's hard for me because I feel like it's my I don't like to bash that's what it is. I really don't like to bash characters and general opinions. But overrated, I could definitely see Soleburner.
You could say, Gnome is an overrated character.
Gnome is a nobody character. So what the heck are you talking about? I wouldn't say Revolver is overrated. I think Revolver is phenomenal.
Yeah, he's one of the best characters in the show.
I think he's probably
honestly
top.
The closest to overrated would
maybe
be like Playmaker.
Playmaker did come to mind, honestly.
Because
it's not that he's a bad character, but he's not on the level for me with a lot of the other protagonists.
He doesn't have that.
He doesn't have the backstory. He does have the backstory,
but we don't know
with the PTSD.
Most of the backstory.
But we just don't see. I think
we don't know anything about him other than he was a lost incident.
Yeah, it's tough for me to criticize him because what he went through, it makes so much sense for him to be so reserved and emotionless at times.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's tough for me to criticize that because that's the route they went, and that's fine. But yeah, overrated. I'd probably see PM or Soleburner as overrated.
I'd put Playmaker before putting Soleburner as overrated, but that's just me.
Soleburner has a lot of people that really do not like him, as well as people who love him. He is by far the most polarizing character in the show, easily, because you have people who would marry this guy if he was real in a heartbeat, that are in that are in love with Soleburner, and then you have people who just hate Soleburner. So he's definitely the most polarizing character. I'm more in the like range. I mean, I like him, but that's my thoughts. Sorry, I just kind of
you don't like him. You just like him.
I don't want to say. No. We have one more email question.
Well, we have a donation from Solid Snack.
Thank you so much, Sora. Thank you so much, man.
Says, if you could pick one non-Ignis character to defeat Soleburner, who would you pick? He said that he would give it to Aoi or Akira.
So
one non-Ignis.
One non-Ignis to defeat Soleburner.
I guess Bowman qualifies as an Ignis, right?
Yes.
That the first duel that they had, Blue Girl versus Soleburner, I would have given Blue Girl that win in a heartbeat. That's the one duel that I always go back to and make the argument that I would have written it very differently, just in changing the result, because that solves a lot of issues.
I think Emma beating
Soleburner
would enhance her character to beyond anything you could imagine as a duelist. Mm-hmm. Because has she won?
No,
she's never won.
Now she's dueled top tier. Well, she dueled Blood Shepherd, but no, she's never won.
Shepherd Shepherd was.
I wouldn't say he's top tier.
Waste of a duelist anyway.
Okay,
you talk about overrated.
Yeah, that's right. You really don't like Blood Shepherd.
Blood Shepherd was the most He came in so hot. Let me just talk about how he came in.
Come on, he's an okay character.
When he got introduced, he literally killed someone. He came in, those penguin guys. He just
hung him. Yeah,
killed it. And it's damn, this guy's badass. They need to be threatened by him. And his first duel, he was so bad and so boring. There was no substance to the way that he dueled. And I think it was just I don't know. To me, he was a very overrated character, and also I see Emma did beat Brave Max, so she did win one duel.
I always forget about no, and I genuinely did forget about that duel. I did forget, so she did get that win.
Yeah,
that was really the only joke episode.
But I
of the
could
show.
also beat him, so it doesn't say much.
He beat a Knight of Hanoi. Like what a joke of that Knight of Hanoi. Hopefully, just logged out and never logged back into VRAINS.
Yeah, that was
what a joke of a human being.
You saw the hands. They didn't get very good
That's
hands
true. He
there.
did brick.
They could have mulliganed and like tried again.
Yeah, that you can do that in Magic, right?
I think
in that
so.
card game where you get a bad hand and you say I'm redrawing.
It's just the original hand. I think you can mulligan the whole hand, but then you have.
You
to
can't
throw
do that
it
in
all
Yugioh.
away,
No, you can't do that in Yugioh. Probably for the best.
Yeah, but no, but okay. So she didn't actually beat a real opponent though.
Oh come on, Brave Max is.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan, but he's like the. I don't know. He's there for relief, comic relief. I still wish he was the frog. It would have to me that would have just fit him perfectly if he was the frog.
It would have been good. Hopefully we see their identity. So Sora, I still call you Sora. Solid Snack. Thank you for the donation. My pick to beat Soleburner. I mean, I already kind of said it. I would 100% give it to Aoi. I think it would be a great win for her. But how about Queen? I think that would be. I would like that a lot because that's a
like her first duel.
Her first duel against Soleburner. That would be a statement of intent. If that's who her first opponent was, and she like wiped the floor with them, and that's how like Soltech kind of got introduced in the early part of season 3. So I think you could give it to a new character. Of pre-existing characters, Aoi or Akira. I don't really see how Akira would match up against Soleburner in the sense of like why. But, you know, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! They can do whatever the hell they want.
That's why I think Emma's the same way. There's really no storyline
to
it. But
Right.
I would love that. Like,
yeah.
I
guess now there's no storyline for Aoi to verse him either.
For her character, I would love it. Obviously, like, I think that it would be hard to kind of get that to happen.
Yeah.
Like, unless Soleburner decides to just turn on the team and Emma's the first one to track him down and tries to take him out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think her character could use a big win.
Definitely.
We have 2 donations.
Thank you guys so much.
One
really
from Nicholas Horton.
Thank you again, Nick.
Says, we still don't exactly know where Miyu is apart from being on life support or how she'll be used in season 3.
Yeah, great point. Miyu is one of those characters that I scarily compare to Rory a lot because Rory was a character in Arc 5. Obviously, you don't know who that is, but she was mentioned very early in Arc 5 by Yuto, and we did not see her on screen until episode 117, 118 in that range. We saw her duel once, brainwashed against Shun, which was a duel that had horrible animation. I think it was episode 119. That was a duel. I never noticed animation, but that was a duel that the animation was questionable. It was suspect. And so we see Rory brainwashed. Shun beats her. She still remains brainwashed, and she ends up dueling alongside Serena against Yuto and Yugioh. We never saw her speak to Yuto, non-brainwash. It was just, she was utilized. I thought she could have been utilized a lot better in Arc 5, and Miyu reminds me a lot of her, where she's not going to really do much, and then when she comes to fruition in like episode 120 maybe, she's just not going to have that big of a role. Hopefully I'm wrong about that. I hope I'm wrong. But she just scarily reminds me of Rory, so we don't know what role she's going to play.
My opinion on Miyu is that she's going to play I think I don't know the Rory character, like I didn't see that series, but that sounds like a role that she could play where she kind of comes in and it could almost be how they use Jin, how the Ignis use Jin could be how Soltech could use Miyu. Where they could get control of her and be like, okay, now we have to. There's like, now there's a reason for Aoi to be fighting against Soltech and a reason for Akira to turn on them. And they're both going after Miyu while everybody else is just trying to end everything. And I think that's like, maybe they get her and she, they meet up and that's like the only time you really see her.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to have much of a impact as in like she's going to be dueling and she's going to be contributing to their success type thing.
The best route that I think they can go with her character is she takes in Aqua, Spectre and the Knights are going after the Ignis. Spectre defeats her and then Aoi steps in. I know that would be good for Aoi, but I would love that route if Aoi gets that rematch against Spectre.
Aoi gets to defeat Spectre to get Miyu.
Yeah, and saves Miyu again. Would be
she's
cool.
not going to save her the first time. Akira's
You're
gonna
right.
Save her.
Actually saves her this time. Well, I don't know if it'll be Akira. It'll be Revolver or Playmaker probably. But good question. And thank you for the donation.
People
man.
are shipping you and Jin in the chat, by the way.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, both unconscious characters.
You're right. I'm thinking like, oh, that's kind of nice. No,
They're life supporting each other on life support.
Life support shipping. That's yeah, I'm not too big in. Obviously, I have no issue with people who ship. I don't ship though. I'm more of like if it's canon, I'll like acknowledge it. But otherwise, it's like But I've people love to ship, and shipping is I recognize it's a huge part of the community.
Emma and Akira, man, it's just gonna happen.
Yeah, there's definitely tension there. I think.
Yeah, they're gonna get married.
I don't know about that, but we'll see. Anyway, next
Surprise
there was another donation.
Yeah, from Goosey Q.
Thank you, Goose, the man, dude. I appreciate it.
I would like to know. I mean, I would like Soleburner to win, but it's not going to happen. What if Brave Max becomes the Hercules of the show? It will be better if they made OVAs for the anime so they fill in gaps.
Yeah, OVAs would be cool. Thank you so much. Ooh, jeez. I didn't get a lot of sleep. Thank you so much, Goose, for the donation. I appreciate it. Yeah, Soleburner. I don't even necessarily want him to win. I think the win would serve Bowman better. Even though I do like Soleburner. Well, keep in mind, though, I am rooting for the good guys to win. So, of course, if Soleburner wins and he stops Bowman, that's awesome. Yeah. The real person I want to be defeated, though, is Lightning. Cannot wait until Lightning is defeated.
Revolver.
He's a great villain, man. Like, I really hate Lightning.
Yeah.
And you should hate your villains. They're writing him extremely, extremely well.
Yep.
And it's not like he's sitting back. Like, he's getting his hands dirty, which makes him even more intense. Like, if I had to redo that top 10 antagonist list, it's still early because VRAINS is still ongoing. Lightning has a very real shot of making that list decently high as well. I really love Lightning. But I hate him. I mean, I want to see him defeated. So thank you, Goose. I appreciate it. Do we have any more email questions?
Yeah, we have one more email question.
Okay.
It's from Peter Ayala.
Okay.
What would be Playmaker's reaction if he loses?
Playmakers I don't know. We just saw the way he reacted in a win that he kind of lost at the same time because he lost Kusanagi.
Yeah.
I think it would be it would probably be kind of similar to that, but I think this actually might be a worse reaction than if he had just lost a normal duel to someone. Mm-hmm. Now, like, obviously it's different if he loses to an Ignis. If he lost to like Bowman, his data would get he'd get taken away.
Yeah.
But I think in a different setting where it's not life or death in a duel, I still think he would go into like a dark place.
Yeah.
I think it's because in the loss incident, when they lost, they were shocked and tortured and
starved.
They weren't given food. So I think he'd go into this dark place where he's like kind of almost PTSD. He loses and now all this stuff starts coming back into his head.
Be afraid to duel.
Yeah, because he's like, if I lose again, like what's gonna happen?
It's like when you're being athletic and sporty and you're playing soccer and you tear your ACL. Coming back from that injury is not only physical, but it's mental.
Very mental, yeah.
I mean, how do you trust your body again? And it really gets to your head, and I think it would be very similar for Playmaker if he lost a duel. Mm-hmm. It's a good question. That being said, I don't know if it's going to happen. No Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist has lost
this late
in the last 50 episodes of the show, and we're definitely in the last 50 episodes now. Even Yuma, who lost a lot, it was all in the second half. When Zexal 2 started, Yuma was invincible. Every Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist just becomes untouchable in duels down the stretch. So I'm worried that Playmaker. I don't think he's going to lose either.
If he loses, it's going to be like Playmaker versus Revolver in a non-life or death situation, I think, and Revolver wins. That's the only way I could see it happening where it doesn't really affect the storyline in such a way that like Playmaker goes berserk.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Or like Soleburner, like someone like that where
you don't see too many friendly duels.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Well, I still think the entire show is going to end on Playmaker versus I.
Yeah, that ceremonial will be friendly. Yeah. All right, but thank you for the question, man. And if anyone sent email questions during this live stream, we will try to answer them next. We do get a lot of email questions. We usually only pick 3. So thank you guys. We appreciate it.
I don't really have anything right now. Just comments.
Okay. Well, how are people feeling in the comment section?
We got a couple of hellos from DJ and Dredger. I saw
DJ and Dredge. Are they still here? You think?
I think so. Dredgers was pretty recent.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming by. Yeah, we're actually going to a huge basher tonight.
Oh my god!
All right, let's talk about that for a little bit. Moving on to the everything.
Wait, really quickly, Daniel
Yes.
J. Edwards, check your phone, Dylan.
Okay. Let's see.
Is it another video?
No, it's a missed call. Okay. All right, hold on. All right, I'm calling Daniel J. Edwards, the voice actor for Revolver, for Gore, Varys. Yo, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. You know, I just had to chime in for a sec because listening to you guys talk about shipping coma people, come on.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't Yugioh everything, but this is a stretch, man. Like, I'm just kidding. These are great discussions. I'm glad. No, I just wanted to call you before I had to leave to do my day. I overheard your shout out to my shout out to your shout out to whatever about you telling me that I could come over there today. Well, you, in fairness, told me this 50 minutes before your actual stream, so I couldn't get there in 50 minutes. But I'm just saying, man, like, I think we should set the day. We should set it very soon.
Why don't we set it? Why don't we set it right now, bro? I'm not afraid of anything.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
All right, how about in 2 weeks?
2 weeks?
2 weeks, bro.
So March 30th.
Deal. Gotcha. Not next Saturday, but the following. Great. That's great.
March 30th. March 30th. I am pumped, dude. I got the speed duel decks at my house where it will be ready to go.
That's what's up. Seriously, but a couple things real quick. Number one, no more of this coma shipping stuff and Brave Max stuff. What's happening here? We're not talking about season 2 anymore. What's going on? And second off, Go is the true underdog, like the underrated guy. I don't care what anybody says, but he's truly the one who needs more attention. Just because he's my character and I'm shallow.
There are a lot of people who would agree with you on that.
Right on. Cool. All right. Have fun with the everything portion. Hopefully more stories come up about the ghosts in your house. That would be great. I don't know. Maybe talk about duelings. Oh, wait a minute.
This channel, in case you haven't been to it recently, is called Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything Except Duel Links. So I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Captions. Come on. Oh, okay, fine. All right. No, but seriously, shout out to Dylan and the team. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, Daniel.
Let's duel soon. Let's post some stuff. Let's start some chaos. All right. Talk to y'all later.
Absolutely. Love you, brother. Have a good day. Enjoy your weekend.
You too.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
man. Peace.
See ya.
Such a amazing human being. Very lucky to have him as a voice actor in the community. We really are. The voice of Revolver, Varys in the dub, Gore in the dub, Agami in Dark Side of Dimensions. He was a great Agami. The voice of Dennis Macfield in the Arc 5 dub of Dipper. I can't remember his actual sub name in the dub for whatever reason. I think that was his dub name. But yeah, voices a lot of guys basically. So Daniel J. Edwards, great guy. And yeah, we'll duel in a couple weeks. So yeah, and thank you to everyone who's staying along and in the chat right now. So yeah, let's talk about the
Well, very quickly, we have 2 donations.
Okay, thank you guys so
Yes.
much. Thank you so much.
One's from Solid Snack. Says, let's be real, all Yu-Gi-Oh! Shipping is a stretch.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. That being said, people love doing it, and I don't judge people. I don't judge anyone really. I'm one of those people that I don't get weirded out by anything.
That's true.
Nothing.
That's very true.
Nothing weirds me out, and I say that to people, and I think people are like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm sure some things do." People could send me.
I've tested you. I've said some pretty weird stuff to you, and you haven't reacted at all.
No, nothing weirds me out. So, and I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying shipping is weird or anything. I think it's a very normal thing in the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you try to claim that the ships are canon, that's where the stretch I think comes in, because the only thing that I would argue is canon in the anime is Aki and Yusei. I think you could make a very strong case for them. Maybe Yuma and Kotari, even though they're younger. But yeah, I mean, and Yuya and Yuzu. I mean, I think there is some
What about
hints.
Ai and
Asuka and
Robati?
Judah. Ai and Robapi is one that I'd say is canon. That's a good point. So yeah, that's true. But Solid Snack Sore, thank you for the donation, man. I really appreciate it, dude.
And we have another one from Chris Swan.
Chris.
He says, I have arrived. Glad Gatorzilla didn't get you, Dylan.
Yes, thank you so much, Chris.
Gatorzilla.
That's another thing about him. Thank you for the donation. That's another risky thing about Florida, the Gators. I did not see a gator, but if we had gotten that house, which is right on the lake, would gators be there?
Yes. Yep.
So
Not necessarily. They're not in every single lake and backyard,
Right.
but they could come through.
I
yeah.
mean, I know someone who has a house in Naples, and they see
Italy?
gators.
Naples, Italy?
No, Naples, Florida.
Oh, okay,
And
Naples,
they
Florida.
see gators all the time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh my
Well,
God.
listen. That's the one risky thing about Florida. But no, Gator did not. I went to Disney Springs, the outlets, which was amazing. Went to Epcot, and it's a tradition. Every time I go to Epcot, I go to the British section,
Oh, yeah.
and I always buy something. So I got this nice golf tee polo. So
I like it.
I walked out, and someone said to me, "If you went to England right now, you'd find a woman in 5 seconds because of the polo."
I think 5 seconds is a little long.
Yeah.
That's what they said to me. And this guy was British. After he said that, he laughed with his friends,
do
and one of them
have
gave
a-
him a high five. I don't know if I was being
Was that?
bullied.
What? I was going to say, were they mocking?
I think it's a great idea, Dale. You should just talk with an accent.
I can't do a British accent. And if I tried right now, it would be an atrocity. So I'm not going to try. You can do one.
It's absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be
It's-
awful if you couldn't do it.
It's dreadful, actually.
But that's
What's-
really good.
What's dreadful, my accent or or Dylan wearing the polo?
Well, Dylan both
what
wearing
are
the
you
polo.
saying? What are you
Dylan both wearing the polo and just saying he can't do an accent.
Oh yeah, well if you
And
can't
it's
do an
really not.
accent,
It's really not that hard.
Don't even ever go to England because
I-
there's no chance. If you can't do an accent, there's no
So
point.
I've always
It's actually
wondered
weird
this.
because his
we-
accent's a little.
different. than yours.
Yeah,
Well, but there's a lot of different dialects in the United
but you
Kingdom.
still sound pretty posh, though. So.
I wonder.
Paul-
If, I wonder.
So you're from. So you're definitely from the west.
I wonder if anybody on here can actually.
Well,
tell
I think
us-
Nicholas
Nicholas
Horton,
Horton.
come on.
Yeah, Nicholas Horton. Come on,
Come on,
we'll
help
fly
us out here.
No,
does it sound good? Like, does my accent actually sound realistic?
I
Or is it-
genuinely
is it
have a
not good?
question because there probably are some people in the UK watching. I love British accents.
Me too. Oh, I think
And I
they're awesome.
find that my
Why do you think I
conversation,
love One Direction so much?
my conversations with British women are usually very intelligent. They're usually very sophisticated. I find them to be very elegant. So is that weird for me to say that I do love British people? I think they're a great company.
No, that's not.
That's not weird.
At all.
Okay,
no.
it's not weird.
No, because I actually just bought something from a woman in England on her website, and I put it on my Instagram story,
Mm-hmm.
and I had tagged her in it. And when she sent me a message back, and she said, "Isn't it lovely?" And I'm just like, it just doesn't sound the same when you say it with an American accent.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Isn't it lovely? Yeah, but when a person who has a British accent says it, it sounds worldly. Sounds godly.
Well, someone just Cyber Quasar said, "Say peanut butter in British." Peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
I don't.
I don't. I can't even do
That's
it.
good. No, I think that's good. Now,
Peanut butter.
Troy, Cal sounds like Troy Sivan in his accent.
Who is that?
He's a singer.
A singer? Is he a good singer?
I think.
Do you think if
so.
I
I mean,
s-
he's been on the charts. I think.
Do you think if I sang with a British accent, I would sound better or worse?
It's actually kind of weird though because you sound very familiar with your British accent.
What do you
I
mean?
can't-
I sound
strange
familiar?
yet familiar.
I actually can't. I can't put my finger on
I
who
sound
it
like
is.
somebody like. that
You sound like someone from a show I watched, but I just can't put my finger on.
Oh,
it.
okay.
So
Why don't you do one?
I
Let me
can't.
try it out.
No, I can't do one. So my question, because I think most.
Is it weirding you out that we're talking?
No,
with
no,
British
it's not. I
accents?
actually
Someone
quite
said,
enjoy it.
Someone says, "Please translate what you're saying." That was Aura Dragon 1. I don't know if you know who.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I know where Dragon.
Oh, thank you. They said our accents are very good.
Well, so I have a question for people in the UK that are watching, and it's kind of a loaded question because we as Americans, we love. I mean, I love all accents. Australian's great. Europe, a lot of German, I find to be a very nice accent. There's a lot of great accents out there. I wonder how Europeans and Australians feel about American accents. I wonder if they,
They
view
love it. I
Russo
mean,
said
the
that they
Brits
love it.
The Brits.
Really?
I know
Yeah. In
British
Australia?
men love when women have American.
Well, so I'm not
accents.
interested in British men. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I think British women too. Actually, I think it's just kind of like I think it's the same way that we find British accents
Yeah.
attractive. I think they find.
Russo,
That's
who's
interesting.
in
Russo's in
Australia,
Melbourne. Yeah.
He said that they find it fascinating. They think he has like the weirdest accent.
What, is that a good thing?
Well, they like the way we think of an Australian accent
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like the way the Australians think of like his accent.
Well,
Okay.
and I
Oh,
think
that's
it's
so cool.
actually
That makes
interesting
sense.
because it's almost kind of hard for us to speak in a British or Australian accent because it's more work because we're not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird because I think they find it difficult to talk with an American accent.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we just just speak. It just rolls off our tongues.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this is how we speak.
I always have trouble telling the difference between British and Australian. Is that stupid?
No, I don't. Well, it's not stupid. I don't have trouble.
I just do. I don't know why.
There's sometimes it sounds similar, but there's certain ways that they go about saying certain things that make it different.
Right. Yeah.
Like almost like in England, you'd say good morning, but in Australia, you say like good morning. It has like a weird.
Yeah, but that's so similar.
Ring.
Like you just said
it's
the
similar,
same.
Well, because
it's called say mate.
Australia was
mate. Well, that's UK. That's not Australia.
No,
maybe it's both.
Well,
places.
they say mate in England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they do.
Well, if there was a conspiracy that all of the British prisoners were sent to Australia, and that's
Australia's
why they
not
all
real.
Have that accent. Yeah.
Which is just so bizarre.
Also, Australia isn't real.
What about an Irish accent? That's like a stronger version.
Irish accent's a little bit harder to do.
I cannot do one.
I feel like it's a stronger like UK accent.
I need to kind of like.
It's a horrible way to describe it.
It's a very horrible.
It's kind of. I have to kind of listen to.
I have to
Irish
listen to Conor
accent.
McGregor.
Well, think of Saoirse Ronan.
I don't really.
You don't watch Saoirse Ronan? Bird Lady?
I've never.
Lady Bird.
You have to think of Conor McGregor, the way he talks.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's Irish. That's right.
Yeah.
Very
He's
quickly
Irish.
before we continue this, I
Yes.
just want to do these 2 donations.
Thank
very
you guys
quickly.
so much. Really making my set. Let me. Fitzgerald Pate. Thank you so much,
will
man.
you continue your Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 manga reviews?
Yes. Good question, Fitzgerald. I don't know if Rarity is in the chat. I don't know if you've seen her. But we are.
Yeah, she's here.
And Luna. Okay, cool. Hi, Rarity. Yeah, us 3 are doing one. Whenever the scale drops, we'll cover the last 2 scales. Yeah, there's still no end date on the Arc 5 manga. So the Arc 5 manga drums on. No release date on the VRAINS manga. At this point, maybe they should just skip the VRAINS manga. I mean, Jesus. It's like the anime is over in a year. So, but 100%, that series is not done. Thank you for the donation, Fitzgerald. Expect one in like the next 2 weeks.
We actually, right now, we have more donations. I think we have.
Thank you guys so much.
We have
Thank
a
you
couple
so much.
more. So we have 3 more. So Chris Swan.
Thank you, Chris.
Next time on Talking Yu-Gi-Oh, Emma Watson schools the team in British accents.
Oh my God, dude! Imagine
that
if
would
we
be
got
a dream.
Emma Watson.
That would be
on,
a
dude.
dream.
Oh,
100%.
She's amazing.
100%.
Love Emma Watson.
We have another one from
Thank you, Chris.
MKJ. Hey guys, just tuned in from the UK. Well, you're just in time.
Oh, MK.
You're just in time.
Oh yeah, we love your accent, man. Thank you for the donation, dude. Appreciate it.
And then lastly, we have Wolverine. Bandit Keith is from the only important country.
Bandit Keith, which actually it's kind of funny in hindsight. He was the character that was from the United States in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And he was just a real like dirtbag, like greedy cheater. Yeah, that's how they made.
Is that what everyone thinks of Americans?
Well, you know what? They're not wrong. let's not cut ourselves.
Well, all Americans are just sit around and eat McDonald's all day.
Right.
That's the stereotype.
Is that actually the stereotype?
I think in some parts.
Well, we are a very
unhealthy
country.
We're the most overweight country in the world.
We are a very unhealthy country. So that's kind of.
But I would not turn down a McDonald's cheeseburger right now.
I don't eat after Supersize Me. I don't eat a McDonald's.
I
never watched it.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had a
Supersize
fast food burger.
Wendy's. Well, we had our friend Kenny who worked at Wendy's, and he said everything's freshly made there. So I trust that more than I trust McDonald's.
Dredger said his accent when he says "I'm Batman." Should we try that? I'm Batman.
But no, the way so Dredger's a very good friend of ours. The way maybe he'll come on one afternoon. The way that he says it though is so amazing, and he would like sneak up behind you in high school, and you would just hear it, and you would think that your life was about to end. Yeah. Like you would think that Batman was about to.
So does he? So he sounds like Christian Bale. So like Christian Bale Batman. What Batman?
No, but the way
he comes in, he's like, "I'm Batman."
Yeah, but he does it so much better than that because he does it to the point where you can. Come on, Dredger's Batman is. He does it where like you don't even know what he's saying until it's too late. It's so good.
You should try it.
No, I'm not gonna try. I don't want to insult anyone.
He's not willing to try anything on his show.
And he doesn't get weirded out by anything, but he can't even try and talk with a British accent.
Yeah, seriously.
Say "I'm Batman" into the mic one time.
Speaking of British, Man United's match started. I don't want to know anything about it. Well, actually, I'm not reading the chat. So if anyone writes,
everyone in the
chat, and nobody has mentioned anything. So if anything, now people are going to mention something.
Yeah.
We have a donation from Wolverine.
Thank you, Wolverine.
Gordon Ramsay loves In-N-Out. Double is
Heart.
So, has anyone ever been to In-N-Out?
I've always wanted to.
No, we've never been on the West Coast.
Yeah.
None of us.
Well, I have, but I was like 8.
Okay. Does that count?
Well, it doesn't.
Thank you for the
It doesn't
donation,
count.
Wolverine.
I went to Hawaii. I flew right over the West Coast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I went to Turks and Caicos. I did leave the country once. We want to go to Australia. Want to go to the UK too. Go to the pubs. That's where Nick probably is right now.
Probably not. No.
I don't know. It's kind of late over there, right?
It's right now. They're only 4
o'clock.
hours ahead right now because they changed they changed their clocks later than us.
It's 8:12. It's time for a beer.
Yeah. But Nicholas Horton donated and commented, "We have lots of different accents here. Depends on which part of the UK we live in."
Thank you, Nicholas. And I'm glad he said that because, like, there are a lot of different accents in the United States.
Oh,
Boston,
Southern
New
accent,
York,
Boston,
Southern.
Midwestern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So,
Texas Southern is
even
different
Jersey has accents. Like, so no, thank you for the donation, Nick. And it's very true. I've never heard a British accent that I didn't like. Although I know there are people. I think Birmingham is the area that everyone always rips on. I've never heard like a Birmingham accent.
People
but
like
people
poke fun at like Essex accents.
Dylan, somebody said that Man U's losing 18-0. I think that's true.
against the Wolves. No, I don't think so. Although
Oh,
we
they're
are
playing Wolverhampton?
Yeah, we're in Wolverhampton, so it's not going to be an easy game.
Oh, I think that's where Liam from One Direction is from.
Wolverhampton?
Wolverhampton.
Well, his team's going to get
I think
smoked
so, yeah.
this afternoon.
Pogba.
Can we just every week talk with accents?
I'm down.
Maybe the two of us can.
We could talk-
And then
if
everyone
if
else
you talked
can-
with a British accent, the viewership on this would double.
Do you really think?
You
Yeah.
think
I mean,
everybody
it already
likes
has
it.
gone up.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
gone up almost 20.
It's going
Well,
up.
you know what I just realized? I just realized that everyone's probably joining now from Europe because of the time issue.
Because it's 8:15.
So they're used to it
Yeah.
starting. So I kind of messed that up. Well,
well-
I didn't mess it up. It's just the stupid daylight savings, which shouldn't even be a thing. Daylight savings is the stupidest
But
thing
we
in the
save
world.
daylight savings.
I know what it is.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just saying it's a dumb concept.
We should always stay
like
with
Valentine's
we should
Day.
always stay with the time that has more daylight than less daylight. I think
Sure.
Say daylight savings again.
daylight savings.
I can't put my finger.
You
on
can't
who
put your finger
sound
on it.
like.
Who I sound like? Anybody
Right
want
there,
to?
though. It clicked in my mind. but I
Daylight
just can't-
savings. If anybody could think of who I sound like when I'm talking like this, it might help Jordan's head out because she's really having a tough time.
Tough go at it.
A tough go at it. Yeah, it's a good way to
Who
put
do
it.
you sound like?
I know the.
Oh, we have a
Like-
donation here.
We
You
have a
can read
donation
it.
from MKJ. What do you think about Captain Marvel? If you've seen it yet, I haven't seen it yet, so don't give it away.
Oh, well, we won't say spoilers, but we did do a review on it on Pete's channel on Clueless Gamers.
Yes.
So if you look at Clueless Gamers, I'm not sure if the video's up yet.
Probably not.
Pete's at work, so
I think
probably
Pete
not.
had issues with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we're gonna he'll try and get that video up as soon as he can, and there'll be a video of all of our takes on it.
It's like an hour and a
It's
half.
like an hour and a half long. We
Yeah.
really went into a lot of detail, and
Yeah.
of course we were a little bit
do you think
here
I'm
and
gonna
there.
like
but
it?
I liked it.
Yeah, you'll like it a lot.
I liked it.
Because I have
But
to
thank
see
you for the
it.
donation,
Well, I have
MKJ.
to see it because Endgame comes out.
And
soon,
Nick,
have to see
I
and
have
Nick
to see
hasn't
it.
seen it, right? So you guys can go together
well,
when he gets
he
back
saw
from.
it without me.
Oh, imagine he sees it while he's in London.
That'd be a real ripper.
Do they have it out in London? Like, is it out in theaters?
Probably,
Yeah, I'd imagine.
probably yes.
Probably
I think,
worldwide.
I think Marvel's pretty. They keep
Pretty
it all.
worldwide.
Yeah. Well, I will say Captain Marvel was good.
Pete said it'll be up hopefully soon.
Okay, thanks, Pete. So definitely stay tuned to his channel.
Yeah,
for
so if you don't follow it already or subscribe, go to Clueless
that.
Gamers
Yeah,
over
just
there
click,
and you'll
just
see
click
it.
his channel.
I personally love the movie, by the way.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Well, did you guys hear about the new Guardians of the Galaxy has been confirmed?
Oh, that
The
James
third
Gunn
one.
is directing
Yep.
it?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't really look too much into that. I didn't know what he did. He just tweeted some weird stuff when he was
But
younger,
they were old
right?
tweets, yeah.
But it was like 20 years ago.
The old tweet stuff to me is, I know this is like way off topic, but the old tweet stuff is just so like, who cares? A lot of this stuff is tweeted when they're like children.
Well, yeah, I think it depends. Like, if the tweets are like death threats, then
No,
I
no,
think
no,
that's,
I know, but like,
I think it depends on the extremity
but you've
of the tweets.
seen the athletes' tweets. There's like these athletes who are like 19 now going to be professional, and it's tweets from like
When they're
7 or 8
13,
years ago.
yeah.
So they're 11 and 12
Right.
tweeting this stuff, and it's like, you're really going to get at somebody for being an 11 and 12-year-old on the internet? Like,
I completely agree with that. I really do think it comes down to the extremity of the tweet, though. If you're 16, 17 years old and you're tweeting like, death to America, I think that's
No, but-
an issue. Or you're tweeting like that, like, a mass murder was like a good thing.
oh, no. Okay,
Or like the
yes.
Holocaust
But
should happen
But
again.
you're saying
Like
very
depends on
extreme things.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. It depends on the extremity.
But
I
some
don't
of them are
say
like-
I don't think that the excuse of the tweets were 6 years old. Who cares? I don't think that's applicable in every single situation.
No, but a lot of the times these like it's like
What
he
was it? What was
13
he
or
for? What did
14.
he actually tweet about?
I have no idea.
I don't either. So
I don't know. I don't.
well,
Yeah,
I
can't
mean,
really
No
can't really
idea.
judge the situation because I have no idea.
yeah, I don't either. Well, that's fine. But What are you gonna do? I'm guy gets a second chance. It's always good to have second chances. It's always good to give people second chances. So
If they deserve them.
good for if they did right. So yeah, awesome.
I just went from talking all about that in a British accent.
Well, I was
and
gonna
just
say I was
immediately
amazed.
switched
I
out.
was sitting here laughing. I was sitting
Went
here
down the
staring
loop
at
of the
Dylan laughing,
wormhole.
but he wasn't looking at me, so I just stopped laughing.
I didn't even
But
realize
I was like,
it.
but you were continuing it.
I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
It.
that was good.
I get stuck in it. It's just so much fun.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we're probably gonna wrap things up very soon. It's been a fun episode though of
It has.
talking Yu-Gi-Oh into the VRAINS.
So much more fun without Nick T.
I was gonna say. I mean, I feel like we just got so much more done.
Oh my god, that's funny. Just kidding, Nick. We love you. Well, I love you. I don't know
Yeah,
about
no,
the
I love you
others.
too, dude. I love you too. I guess we'll take maybe one or two more questions.
Like everything related.
Yeah, just anything. Yu-Gi-Oh, anything.
Well, I saw a couple of things talking about Detective Pikachu.
Oh, yeah. What are your thoughts on Detective Pikachu?
I want to see it.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, I
seeing
haven't
it.
seen it.
Yeah.
I want to see it. Did it come out yet?
No, I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
in May.
Oh, okay.
But honestly, I'm really excited for Charizard. I think Charizard looks pretty awesome.
Mewtwo looked cool.
Mewtwo's
see,
in
I
it?
haven't seen the
What?
trailers.
Apom looked weird as hell. There were a lot of Pokemon that looked strange, but it's the art style, so it'll be really interesting to see. It reminds me a lot of Joshua Dunlop's work, the artist that paints these pictures for me. Or not for me, but in general that I have framed.
Oh yeah.
What, did you look up Apom?
No, I looked up Mewtwo, and he looks kind of freaky,
Mewtwo
but
looks
awesome at the
awesome.
same
Yeah.
time. I mean,
That's really cool.
being one of my favorites, he's just... Oh, man.
Yeah, it's an interesting art
Oh,
style.
May
Chills.
10th. Okay.
It's an interesting
Thank you
art
for that.
style.
We'll have to go see it.
Definitely see it. That'll be loaded because 2 weeks before that is Endgame. So that'll be a
Oh
loaded.
well, first of all, I don't know if people watch Game of Thrones, but that also comes out the same weekend as Endgame.
Wow.
So it's
Wow.
a big weekend right there.
Big weekend for the media fans.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
I'm gonna be all about it. I'm gonna go see Endgame, and then I'm gonna go watch the first episode of the last season of Game of Thrones. It's gonna be great.
It's amazing.
I might take that Friday off
Honestly, you should. You should.
if I can. I probably
Because you'll
will.
probably see Infinity War or Endgame at midnight on Thursday.
if I can.
Yeah. What's up?
Well, it's kind of crazy when he mentioned Game of Thrones because if you go over to England or Ireland, that whole area, it's so big there that because it airs in America technically first, they have parties. So it airs on Sunday nights. They have parties where, because the show's not on until like 9 or 10, so it's on there like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So people have parties Sunday night, the day before work, and stay up all night so they can watch Game of Thrones.
That's
and they have parties
awesome.
every single week.
Is that
there are
true?
people who have
Watch
viewing parties
Oh
every
my-
single
I'm
week.
doing that for this season. My
That's
apartment.
crazy.
You guys want to come around for the last?
Maybe I'll
season?
maybe I'll take off every single Monday.
Well, no. You don't. You could. It's only here. It's not too late. It's a Sunday
Oh,
late
yeah,
night.
wait, true.
Yeah, it's
done
not,
it.
it's not bad
duh.
here.
Done it like 11. You're home by 11:30. You're just fast asleep before midnight.
Well, yeah, and
Absolutely.
I live, and especially 11 o'clock
me,
at
it's
night
only like
from you,
15
it's like
minutes.
15
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah. All right. Well, they're going to wrap things up.
Yeah.
Any last calls? Okay, cool.
Any last call?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sorry, I don't know why. I just got exhausted. Jesus.
Well, you yawned before.
Yeah, and then it's just.
I have a
went all
Red Bull
downhill.
for you to
A
drink.
Red Bull? Okay,
yeah.
thanks. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I always look forward so much to watching back and reading all of your inputs and your comments. So really excited for that. Thank you for everyone who came by for even a minute or came by for the whole thing. A special thank you to my platinum tier patrons, Alexa Baker, Glen McGookin, Jorge Carrillo, James Rose, Omni Lord, Thomas Adderley, Samuel Stark, Horace Maye, and Amber Crystal, and to my diamond tier patrons, Bouldergeist and Jesse Wood, and to my Egyptian god tier patrons, Syn Cloud and Chris Swan. A huge thank you to everyone who supports me over on Patreon. I cannot tell you how much it helps out my channel, and a huge thank you to everyone who just watches me and watches the channel, because without you guys, would not be able to do this. So thank you to everyone who donated as well today. That really means the world as well. Helps keep this channel fruitful. And yeah, this has been Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Into the VRAINS, episode 7. The Broken Promise.
The Unbroken
Unbroken.
Promise.
I literally can't do it. The Unbroken Promise. A special thank you to Cal and Jordan as well for joining me as always. Thank you guys so
Well,
much.
and thank you, Chris Swan. Jordan's the best character on Talking Yu-Gi-Oh.
You know what, Chris? I'm going to give you that one. Thank you,
you.
Chris.
Oh, man, I'm.
Thank you,
You're
Chris
gonna
Swan,
have
my new favorite. Chris, you're my new favorite person on here.
You're going to just have to suck up your pride,
I'm
dude.
heartbroken. It's fine.
That's okay.
It's,
There's probably 90 women in the comments that would say you're their favorite.
Uh-huh.
And then that would take your number. Never mind. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope you have an amazing day.
See ya.
You didn't end with a British accent.
The awkward 5-second pause.
Well,
Thank you guys.
We're still on
Love
here.
you guys.
See you guys. Love you.